Hello Hanzo Maker, here is your video review on Reinhardt it seems. Now just a forewarning, main tank is probably my least strongest role, however I still know it pretty well. I did make it up to GM on DPS and support, and as well as making it to like 3800 on main tank, mainly Winston and Rein. Seems like Orissa's the meta now, but seeing as we are on King's Row, this is Rein and Zarya's best map, so this is the optimal tank composition. Now, keep in mind what I'm saying is not the absolute end all final answer, it's just what I personally think and what probably will help you be better. Now, first, I want to start off by saying I don't really know what SR you are, seeing as this is a replay that you recorded. I'm not sure if you use comms as well, but when you are a main tank, it is imperative that you use comms. You are the leader of your team. You tell people when to go in. You call out the targets to focus, alright? Everyone should be revolving around you. With that being said, let's get started. Sorry for the weird video quality, it says 720, but it doesn't seem like it.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
Let's not waste time.
Alright, I'm gonna pretend I can't see the enemy comp, but I do see your comp. Now your comp right here, your comp is a pretty good comp. It's like Sombra Goats. I personally hate Sombra and think she should be deleted from the game, but that's not important. You have a Lucio to speed boost you through chokes, Anna's for the big heals and her nano boost, it's so good, and Brig because she's broken. Alright, good comp. Not sure if you guys are talking again or anything, can't do any comms. It's a replay, but no worries about that.
Attack commences.
Right, so that was a very good engagement first point here. Not sure if this is should win this fight, but it looks like Fire is just wrecking out.
Back and ready for more!
I'm taking the objective. Come on over.
So with that first fight, I don't really have too much to say. You guys played that very, very well. They tried to like bunker you with Bastion up there in the corner. I'm gonna go back this bit. So yeah, right here, when you came up, you saw they had a Bastion. It seems you guys just went immediately left into the hotel, avoiding his line of sight so he can't rain down on you. That's awesome. I can't say how many main tanks I see that would sit literally like right here and expect you to just poke down Bastion while he mows down your shield, which is absolutely not something you want to do. So you made a good call here by jumping with your shield to continue your momentum a little faster. Shoot a fire flick up there to gain some alt charge. That's a very good play right there. That's something you should be doing right now. Fire seems to be like raining down the back of your team, and I get much focus to match, but Carl was kind of body in this fight. I think Lucio was trying to boop down somebody off the high ground up there, which is why he died, but something you could do here is just try to focus more so on the Pharah, because you could go against this wall here, call your entire team, you can even go... They can go to this doorway behind you that's like where my mouse is behind there. There's that doorway and that phone booth. They could sit back up there, sneak up behind, get the Bastion from behind. They'd have cover from the Pharah so she couldn't Rein as much. Hopefully Ana and like maybe Sombra could poke her down. Maybe if you get lucky with the fire strike, but something you could tell your team is just to group against this wall and against this doorway and then use your shield as cover against the Pharah while maybe your Ana tries to sniper out the sky or something like that. Because where Bastion is right now, he has to drop down on the point if he wants to do any damage. The angle where he's at right here, he can only see like a fair amount of the point, but not against this wall or that little phone booth over there. He'd be forced to drop, which I see you take advantage of, and you're personally there, but ours was to Rein down. So you could maybe deal with it by sitting right here with your Brig and your team. Anna maybe over here in the back window while you provide a shield, and she could snipe Pharah out the sky and maybe get a lucky sleep or something. But you guys did play this point very well. That's why you took it. Excellent charge, by the way. Glad you didn't shatter there. You didn't need to shatter this first. I think this fight would be won, which it should be won.
I'm taking the objective. Come on over.
That's great. You guys have 4 ults in the fight. Sorry I couldn't get too much done understandably because of that shield of Pharah, so she has a fairly good ult charge.
Your father, get in there. Justice,
I
rain
don't
from
like this
above.
play at all. Let's go back. Alright, so you caught the payload, and I think you guys are pushing up. You see they're staggered, and so you're trying to get some, like, an advantage on them. Keep them staggered, keep them pushing. But your Sombra... Yeah, your Sombra is right here. So she does have EMP. Honestly, I do think your Sombra should be on the high ground. Maybe up here, up there. That way she could set up for her EMP easier. As soon as Bastion ulted there, she could have popped EMP. You could Earth Shatter, and she'd instantly... And you guys would have continued to win that team fight. So right here, as soon as you heard Bastion ult, Earth Shatter honestly has a pretty far range. So I would have hit Earth Shatter to try to nullify. I think there's a Bastion out there. It's a little hard to see because quality, but I kind of blame your Sombra's positioning on that part. And just Bastion happened to ult you, and then same with Brig. Brig probably could have blocked that, but I guess something you could have done here is just try and Earth Shatter as soon as you hear him ult. You may have prevented those 2 deaths, prevented Bastion in his tracks, because you try right here, but I think Bastion uses his primary fire to jump over your Earth Shatter, it seems.
Your father, get in there.
Ana wastes her nano on you there for some reason, trying to keep you alive against...
Rain.
Once you guys immediately lost Sombra and Brig, you should have just called no ults, don't do anything, guys. Just regroup, take the next fight, save ults for our next fight. Because you see Brig is coming up on rally here. Sombra has EMP on top of that. There's Nano. So something that's very good with Reinhardt and Zarya is using your Shatter before she has grab, so you can maybe try and get a couple picks. So when she does grab, you can freely swing into the grab and possibly get another Shatter. If you rewatch matches from Overwatch League, this is a very common thing. I know Super does this a lot, where he'll Shatter and like he'll use his ult when you have every ult up to see if maybe you can get 1 or 2 picks, and then while they're disoriented, Zarya grabs. Maybe a Sombra EMP comes out to prevent any beat drop by Lucio or something like that. It doesn't seem they have that though. And then you could swing into the grab and immediately have your Shatter again. But what you did, I get you were trying to stop Bastion, but once you immediately lost those 2 people there, you should have just called for a regroup and saved it. So right now, they're coming up on some ult advantages. 93 Bastion, 75, 71, 71, and then you guys, Widowmaker wall access cool and all, but...
No one can hide from my sight. So Bastion's literally in sync. Why is he... I
don't have no idea why the hell Bastion is right here. It's such a horrible spot for him. I guess he's throwing. Make the right choice. Very good job. Being aggressive. See too many right now. Just being AFK shield tank. So what you're doing right now is, I don't know if it's just a habit, but it just seems a little unnecessary to me. Just like the jump shield, I get you're trying to block some stuff, but fire strike, you're trying to generate all, but I don't know who you're firing at there. Widow's just raining hell on them. So I see a lot of the time you're using the shield, but there's nobody really ever behind your shield. If we look way back here, like kind of where you go and swing it, and I think that's good and all. You shield. Zarya's going out in front. Widow's just random death, but you're never actually protecting anybody besides yourself. It's very good where you guys are positioned now at this choke. It's a lot of pressure up. Again, very well played by all of you. You push up so they can't move up to contest the payload. Honestly, I'm not seeing too many faults right now.
Get in there.
Right here, you just tank in your HP. As soon as you saw yourself drop to half, because you could continue this momentum with that push, you keep demecking people. As soon as you saw yourself just get tanked and you see the orb of discord get on you, just hold your shield up. Don't try to fire strike. Seem you just got caught in an unlucky moment, got blasted by Zen. Yeah, just headshots by Zen. That was pretty unlucky there, honestly.
Get in there.
But I didn't want it to move up that much. So if I were you in this scenario, once you start moving up like here, and you're swinging on the brig, call out your team to focus brig. But I would have immediately put a shield right here, like after I swung on her, gone to this doorway, and just try to fire strike through that doorway. Maybe poke through the door. You can use the walls as a natural cover here. You're at less of a giant open target. Probably would have avoided that death.
My barrier's about to go. No one can hide from my sight.
Your team should be getting back right now.
This back.
So, if I were you again, I just wouldn't fire strike up there. Diva can eat your fire strike. She's an extremely hard target to hit up there on the fire ground. Maybe not too bad if it's like a widow or something, a little bit of pressure. But you have wall hacks. You see these people right here. I would do a fire strike straight through this doorway, because maybe these people might walk back and you might get like 3 people with a fire strike as opposed to one which can literally nullify your fire strike with her. Maybe would have done some wall charge on that. To the grab, swing, good job. Reinhardt was ignored. That's okay. You guys have momentum here.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Everything, but you did everything right. You kept moving up. You held the pressure. You held them at the main chokes. That was pretty good. Maybe some fire strike usage there could have been a bit better. When it comes to target priority, always try to aim for the mass group of people, as opposed to just like one person in that high ground, especially a diva.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Not bad, not bad. That was good, that was good. that wasn't too bad of a play, but honestly, you were being a little too reckless. So as soon as they come over there, remember, you're a tank too, so you realize they're coming into hotel, you start swinging on them, you get booped away, and then right here you continue to swing. If you put your shield up here, because you're not going to be able to swing at them. I see you try to launch like a fire strike or something, but as soon as you get launched that far away, just put up your shield to prevent getting slept there. And on top of that, D.Va ate your fire strike, so you did absolutely nothing but become a temporary hindrance for your team. They immediately wake you up though, thankfully, but you really should have been dead there. As soon as you got booped away from the Lucio, you should have just put your shield up. You would have avoided the sleep dart. You know D.Va has defense matrix. You would have eaten your fire strike. Once you saw her use that, you could have got like a 4-man fire strike here. Swing into them. So right now you're doing some massive cleave damage, but you don't only have to hold left click as well. You have your teammates here who have a lot of damage. Like if you just put your shield up, Ana can poke at them too while healing you. Zen has a safe shield. Hanzo should be on the high ground just raining fire from above. Sombra should be frontlining and a lot higher than 25% on an EMP. Should have like EMP every fight. So I see you're just trying to build Shatter as fast as you could, but that ends up just being not really the best option there. You're putting so much pressure on your healers and support. Like you could have waited to swing into them to get that grab. Maybe when you had a Zarya bubble or something. Seems it got instantly blasted, but when you're just taking massive damage like that, you have a shield. Guards prevent some of that damage. You may have lived here and got your shatter off. It's kind of unfortunate, honestly, you don't have a Lucio still, because if you had the speed boost there, you guys could have speed boosted into them when they were into the hotel, trapped them in there. The characters with mobility, but if they're trapped in a small hotel with Reinhardt, who has a big, massive cleave, it would have been a lot better. So I personally would prefer Lucio over Zen on this point, especially since Zen is so easily dived by these people, but you can't change what your teammates do here. So a lot of main tank is pretty reliant on teammates as well. So y'all are coming up on offense here. Zarya has grabbed him now. Hold at this jump where you are right now. Just good tank play. Push me on this. Alright. Zen should have popped that.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Really good play from you, but it seems to get so many hits randomly you use awareness of the team. As a tank, you're still all meant to heal your other players and kill for them. So honestly, this is a pretty risky charge. I'm surprised you didn't just immediately die here, but good pin on the Brig, but she's broken and doesn't die. So right here, as soon as you saw Genji ult, you should be turning around trying to cleave him. Alright, I guess you can see these people up front, but you're already at 94. Just swinging at those people, like once you're at your ult, you already have it. So Genji's mutilated right now using trance, so you could be using that trance invincibility to try to take out that Genji. Because again, you're trying to pill for your supports here, but it seems like he just goes on a rampage and tears through your entire backline where you're focused only on the front line. You turn around and maybe try to deal with him. You have no idea where he's at though. If you turned around sooner, maybe would have had a bit more awareness on that. Then I see you get your shatter here, trying to turn the fight back into the favor. And honestly, is a pretty good shatter. But again, you just disregard your entire backline and they got picked because that Genji. I think you just totally disregarded the Winston as well. Right here, we got the Shatter. Oh no, it's not the Winston, it's the Brig. You see she's anti, she's purple, she literally can't be hit right now, and if you look up in the kill feed, she's 1 HP. So you kill the Lucio, but you fail to recognize that you shattered someone behind you, and if you would have turned around and cleaved a Brig, you probably would have hurt Monkey there too, dropped him pretty low, maybe would have knocked away Genji from your backline. But you targeted so hard on the front line that you left your backline exposed. At that point, you did make a good decision because everyone on your team was dead, so might as well swing into them, regroup, die on cart, and get as much all charge as you can for the next fight. Your Zarya's yet to grab, which is pretty concerning. So at this point, just gonna regroup to the front here. If you guys would have been able to make it here, you should have held them there, but seeing as you weren't able to make it there in time, next best thing is this doorway. Playing this doorway. Oh my god. So again, something oh no. So I feel like you need to be a little more cautious of when you're swinging after you get shattered. They wasted Nano Blade for some reason. I don't know, a lot of vaults were there and they just won that all battle that was very chaotic, disorganized. So I think you wasted Shatter right here. So, you got it pretty fast and built off this grab, and I think you got it so fast, but you were already warned with that. Right here about the Diva Bomb, so if you would have held onto your Shatter here, waited for the Diva Bomb to go. I see you still blocked it, but just be a bit more cautious with that. So after this Diva Bomb, that's when I would have shattered. I would have turned around, shattered left side here. I think you would have got yeah, you would have hit him, the people behind the cart here, you would have got like a 4-man shadow, you would have hit Diva for remecking. Maybe you would have saved your team, but you just shot her a little too hastily here. You weren't sure what you were aiming at, you just saw like a giant blur of colors.
Back into the fray.
What's your summer doing? So Genji seems to be the main problem on your for your team. Communicating this, you kill it there. Again, just a little too reckless. You shouldn't move beyond this corner. You should stay here. You block these exits from you being flanked on, but you move up this far up. You nullify yourself from any cover and you start swinging. A Winston drops his bubble, Ana can't heal you anymore. Diva can eat stuff. You need to keep moving back and continue to move back with your team right now. But you continue to swing into them when you can't get healed because again, Anna can't shoot through shields, right? So then you just drop to massively low health because you weren't back here with your team, waiting out all of those cooldowns, making sure your Ana could heal you, and therefore you just get tanked on your health, get shredded, and then they lose the main tank on the team. So now they have absolutely no shield, McCree can't shoot safely, and neither can Zen, Ana. It's just so much more threat for your team, so I wouldn't be surprised if you guys died here. At this point, Zen should be looking to trance.
Experience tranquility.
It's a good charge out of spawn, trying to get some more damage to knock down Brig. Again, you're holding left click here, but you're accomplishing nothing. I would jump and hold right click, do that like shield hop thing, approach, maybe provide a bit of cover. You might block a shot or two, or a shuriken, or an Ana, something you just might happen to block one, as opposed to swinging at nothing here and accomplishing absolutely nothing. So if you do that shield hop, might block some damage. Fire strike, shatter. You shatter. Too many ults. So Ana Nanadu, not the bad, not the first thing. Good, yes, hold that corner. You had the right idea trying to charge in there. Two sick counters by you guys. Good job, you guys should win this team fight. It was pretty well played by all of them. Not much to comment on there.
Take your man.
Well, this McCree's trying to get 50 or something. Should back up in here.
Experience
Personally, I think we're a bit too far up here. Again, I kind of wish you were behind cart. You could use the cart as cover and start to roll to that point. You could just see it there for a split second. You could use the cart as cover. You maybe would have been able to shield your Ana if you were a bit further back. You could have reacted a bit better to the Diva Bomb. But you're so far up here away from your team. Again, you're trying to make space, but so you know you're down your main hill, but you still continue to play pretty recklessly. I guess your thought is maybe if I can kill more of them than they do of us, but as soon as you're down the main hill like that, I would play a bit more conservative using the card as cover and sit back here. As soon as you had Shadow, I don't think you should immediately use it again, just for see. If you're behind cart here, you might have been able to plan out your Shatter a bit more. You probably would have hit Diva, and Brig, and Genji. Lucian might have been able to do it, but you guys should win that fight though.
I'm on fire!
I will not give up.
so you're just kind of randomly firing them into them, but again, D.Va has defense matrix. She's getting both of your fire strikes so far and you've accomplished nothing. I would try to wait till I see her use it. She has a couple seconds of cooldown on it. Probably would generate a bit more alt charge as opposed to blindly firing and hoping she forgets the defense matrix. This seems like some pretty organized team play, honestly. So D.Va should be getting all those fire strikes. Unlucky on the pin there.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Good push up, clean up. That charge is kind of scary. Flying is trying to get beaten up. Y'all are playing this very well. Blind shatter again. A trend I see with you is every time you get shatter, you immediately use it. You don't seem to plan it out. You just have shatter. You're like, oh, they don't expect me to have shatter, and then you use it. Well, you even see Rein's shield, and then you continue to shatter into it. No mind games are played. You didn't wait for any of your teammate to follow up. You just blindly shatter into a shield and get nothing. So that's one big mistake I see you could have prevented there. He didn't even have to mind game you. You just recklessly shattered. That was pretty well played. But seeing as they just blew everything on you guys, and you guys had the ult advantage at that point, you should have just waited it out a bit. Maybe Rein would have been paying attention, looking the other way. Would have been able to actually get a shatter.
You're powered up. Get in there.
So I get you being aggressive, but sometimes you're a little too aggressive. So right here, you see your shields low. Honestly, you should really be moving right for some reason. You're like moving right into this room to separate yourself. If they were a more organized team, they honestly probably could have cut you off and just mowed you down. They see your shields low, just walk into this right room. Your team's right there, so I guess they are kind of covering you, but you try a very risky charge here, trying to hit somebody, but I think you just need to take things a little slower, think out your play a bit more, and maybe like a bit more strategy to play as opposed to just hold that team fight. Honestly, good shatter. Glad you rotated around here. So after you get shatter here, you shatter straight into the Zarya bubble, send them into the trance, continue to build it, it's not bad. As soon as you have shatter here, just take a quick jump back. You know their Rein is probably coming close on it too. He may try the same thing as you where he tries to shatter, and if you play that cart and just take it a bit slower and just maybe shield it, you maybe would have baited out his shatter. It seems he didn't have it yet, but I would have assumed that he had it and was just waiting to shatter you guys post grab, like right now, honestly. But you get antied here. You see the Zarya bubble before you even shatter, and you shatter straight into it and get absolutely nothing. Again, right here, if you had a bit better reaction time, you've been aware, like you track the ults a bit better. As soon as you dropped it here, you see Fire Strike get a bit more, but this Rein is nanoed at this point. You realize he's probably going to shatter. If you would have sat right here with your team, Boom! You would have blocked that shatter. You would have prevented your move from getting charged probably. You would have prevented your enemy from hitting the bag. But instead you're just too far ahead, too aggressive, not really guarding your team. You failed your shatter, got knocked away, took that fire strike, just move up with your team again. You're not gonna outdo a nanoed Rein when you're antied as well. Like, it's just suicide at this point. Best hope is maybe block a shatter. So if you're right here, maybe take some fake swings out, bait that shatter. You know he's probably going to shatter. I mean, he's nanoed and he hasn't used shatter yet. They're running out of time. They're gonna pull out the stops. You probably could have prevented that shatter. But no, instead 3 of your teammates get capped, and that's what really caused them to lose that fight. If they would have been alive, they maybe would have fend for themselves a bit better, but at this point it's going to be a little rough.
All systems go.
Wait for me!
Overtime.
Really opposite of honestly in this fight right here. So you know your diva's down, she's coming back. Something I would have liked to see too is maybe Zen swapping to Lucio. He's not going to build chance in this fight. But if he's Lucio, he could potentially get some boops off this edge here. He could speed boost you guys into their team. So y'all should be kind of playing with the payload right now. You see their anti try to make a move, but just kind of play around this card. It's extra cover provided to you. You can use it as cover. So right here, you still should really stay on cart. Don't mind the Hammond in the back. Hopefully, like Ana can maybe get a sleep on him or something. But you should be on cart combating the Reinhardt diva. Lucky end again. They had momentum. Y'all were staggered. So you have a lot of time here.
Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Still trying that same thing. Ooh, that was pretty reckless. So let's take it back to this team fight. You move through this, you see they rotated over here. I honestly wouldn't have continued to try to push on the point. I'd have maybe told the Lucio or someone like hid back inside and try to go right around statue to indoors here, because then at that point maybe a few of your teammates would have went on point, would have forced Bastion to drop. You could come up from the top here, you could be safe from all this fire. You see Bastion drop, so you try to charge him. Just kind of left yourself open to that. As soon as you came around here, you saw them rotate. Either immediately try to get underneath them, go back through that hotel, try to come around the right side using the statues as guard 2, maybe get a lucky pick on the Pharah. But considering you still have 4 minutes left, I could see the attempts. At this point, your team should just try to maybe get somebody, a lucky pick or something.
There's still fight in me yet! Come out and face me!
What are y'all doing? No. So as soon as you realize you lost that fight, you should be calling for a regroup. I don't know what your Lucio's doing way out there. You should have just boosted boosted back to spawn so he could speed boost you guys up to the choke, get there faster. But he seems to be on a solo mission, flanking or trying to do something, but right now he's just feeding. So he's down, and you continue to move past the choke, not shielding any of your teammates. Fire freely raining down boosted rockets on him. So you guys should be moving around right now. I see you like sitting here, you really like this hotel for some reason, but they're on the low ground now. They're stuck in this corner. I see they switched to Widow, maybe try to take out the Pharah, but if you guys had Lucio here, could have regrouped. They're in this corner. You go to the choke, you call for a speed boost, immediately all of you go into this room. You're able to claim the high ground, get better angles on Pharah. You'd be above and behind the Bastion, because they currently don't have that speed boost momentum. Bastion can't get out of his turret form and go through this building and then set up again by the time you guys would speed boost through and up the stairs there. So, and on top of that, Pharah would have a hard time raining rockets on you as well, because she'd have to take an angle where she could fly indoors. At this point, the way you guys are playing, your best hope is an EMP.
Rain from above.
You're just, honestly, all of you are feeding right now. You really should try to take as much cover as possible. Go to the right of that statue, up to the high ground. Now at this point, just try to get all of your ults. So you just want to try to overwhelm them with ults at this point. You just need one tick, just one team fight maybe where Sombra gets a sick EMP, Zarya gets a grab, you shatter, all while Ana nanos and a Brig rallies at the same time. So you want to try to have all of your ults, maybe try to force them to use a couple of theirs, maybe try to force out the Bastion ults and like Mercy Valkyrie something. Wait till those are done, wait till you guys have all 6 and then go in as a team. So now you guys go inside. Again, you should have a Lucio here. If you had a Lucio, Ana would not have died. You would have been able to speed straight into that room. You'd still be all 6 right now. Widow is just getting butt kicked or something. So you guys opted not to take the high ground. Instead to go behind again. Instead of just coming behind like this, I know you guys are probably gonna do that. You can straight up take the high ground from them. Marissa and Bastion are still stuck down there. You could like walk up top, just rain down fire from above, use these doors up here while you rain down fire strikes on them or something, maybe build up, play your shield a bit, but you just sit in this doorway. Funneling, you're basically forcing yourself through this choke now. Like, you only have this doorway to go through. They have a Bastion fire, there's rain hell in that doorway. And then you just sit in this doorway and accomplish nothing to take damage. Right, you're coming up on a lot of ults here, so they just use a lot of theirs. As they're split, you're unorganized, you're still continuing to sound of this choke. Fire or something. Right here, charge back. So you just overwhelmed them with ults at the end there. They just kind of got trapped in the middle of points, so you guys were able to like close in on them. Honestly, it would be better to see a game where you lost. Those are much more valuable than those where you won. I get this game was close. You guys just ended up doing what I said though, and you will learn more if you have a game where you lose. Not too bad at tank play though. all in all, I'd say to play a bit more cautiously, not as reckless. You do still have a shield, don't just hold left click and abandon your team and not pilfer them at all. You are still a tank. You need to protect your teammates as well. Use Shatter a bit more cautiously, don't just use it immediately every time as it comes up. Maybe try to like mind game the Rein a bit, just a bit